Good morning. It's Monday, the 28th of September. It's hard to believe that we're already into the fall. A lot of you have mentioned about the background sitting here on my back porch. In fact, I'm facing the house today, but typically you'll see all the flowers, and that's all Diane. She gets all that done during the summer and keeps them watered. But it's a beautiful time of the year. I got up and got out on the porch this morning, and I thought the sky is just a crystal blue. There's a crispness in the air. I look out to the west, and you can see the mountains again. We had a lot of smoke from the fires, but I just cannot think of a more beautiful day. And it just, almost all your senses come alive at a time like this. And the colors are starting to fade from the summer, and new colors will come in the fall. And then we get into the time of winter where there's not as much color. I think it's like that in the seasons of life. There are times when God seems to be silent. You're not feeling His presence, you're not sensing His speaking to you through His Word, and you struggle. I call them sometimes the dark seasons of life. And God is no less there than when you sense it or feel it. And it is part of how we walk by faith. And I thought the verse of the week this week really touches in on this and explaining how God calls us to wait on Him. And yet He still waits on us. And so it's a waiting. And I don't think any of us are very comfortable with that. But listen to this verse. This is from Isaiah. And if you've read through Isaiah recently, you'll notice that Christ is all through Isaiah in the prophetic sense. And what this does is shows us that He is both the means and the end of all things. This is from Isaiah 64 and verse 4. It says, "From ancient times no one has heard, no one has listened to, no eye has seen any God except you, who acts on behalf of the one who waits for Him." Now think about this, that God is calling us to wait on Him. And it's not a passive waiting, it's not an idleness, it's not just sitting here and stewing about it. It is an active waiting. It is pursuing His Word, it is following Him in obedience, it is trusting in Him as best as we know how, but we're still waiting to know what to do or to know what to say or to know what to think, and God hasn't made that clear. And I think that you'll find as you study the scriptures all through the Bible, God is calling on His people to wait. And what this waiting does is build a greater trust and dependence upon God. It also gives time for us to mature and to develop. It also allows for God to be able to be working 1,000 other things that are going to intersect with your life. You know, we say we're not the center of the universe. He is, Jesus is. And yet we're part of all of that. There's another verse in Isaiah that I think has been one of my favorite. It's found in Isaiah 30 and verse 18. It says, "Therefore the Lord is waiting to show you mercy and is rising up to show you compassion. For the Lord is a just God. All who wait patiently for Him are happy." So God is waiting, and actually the word can be translated longing. So God is waiting, He is longing to be gracious to you. So God waits for that time to be able to act. And how happy and how blessed are those who wait for Him. To me, it's an incredible contrast. Here I am waiting on Him to show me what to do. I'm waiting to sense and feel His presence. I'm waiting to understand what His will is, but God's also waiting. And I'm longing for Him, He is longing for me, and God is bringing about His perfect will and His providence in His time to be gracious too. And there is no God who acts on our behalf. And He is working to form your life, He is working in you, He is working through you, and He's working for you. And so when you get into that season, like these changing seasons, we go from summer to fall to winter, and you have that dark season when God seems to be silent, He's still at work. And He's working for you, and He's working on your behalf. He's working all around you to bring things together. And that is just such a great comfort. My prayer is this, that you'll take these verses of the week and make these anchor points for your life, because when we're going through a dark time and we don't feel it, we don't sense it, We need to just bank on His Word, because His Word is true. God is there, even though I don't feel it. He is working, even though I don't see it. And as I wait on Him, God is going to develop my life and all around me for His purposes for eternity. So, in the changing seasons, whether God is really visibly active or He seems to be silent, you can trust in Him and in His Word. Have a great week. Take care.